I'm Vicki Olson and I teach at Price Laboratory School. I have been here since 1996. Prior to that I was at North Cedar Elementary for 6 years. I teach 6th grade math and science. This learning activity was part of the process of a web quest that we're going through, and in this web quest the students are to decide a location in the solar system that would be a good place to put a colony. And they are using different criteria to decide that. What we were doing today was trying to decide what we needed to survive. We were deciding where to colonize. We'd have some good information to make those decisions. So they had gotten some background information. Today, the first part of the lesson, we were talking about what we all agreed was necessary for survival in another location, or what was necessary according to what we have here on Earth to replicate in another location so we could colonize another location. So today they were bringing information together. They had gathered quite a bit of information on their own and they were bringing it together so we could make one list. From that point on, they started searching in different roles for information about where in the solar system those aspects could be found or else could be adapted. My goal was to have the students gather some data about what was needed to survive and then bring that together and make some decisions based on that about what they felt was necessary for survival. I also am looking for them to learn some facts about the solar system and what is necessary for survival. A web quest presents a problem or a situation that needs to be solved. In this web quest, the problem was that Earth was being overpopulated. The year is in the future, 2040, and we need to find a place to colonize to relieve some of the overpopulation. From there, we are presented a task, and the task is to decide where in the solar system to colonize, and the process includes choosing roles. They are either an astronomer, a meteorologist, a geologist, a sociologist, psychologist, or a biologist. There are one of 5 roles, and in their groups they gather data based on their role, come back together as a group, and make decisions as a group based on the various roles that they've taken. And then they decide where to colonize. The final product will be a PowerPoint presentation in which they'll explain where they have chosen to colonize, the reasons for that choice, and then also adaptations that would be made at that location. This entire web quest will be assessed by a rubric. However, today the activity that we did, I'll probably be gathering the papers that the students did and taking a look at what their individual thoughts were and making a formative assessment based upon what they did on their papers. But the entire web quest will be assessed using a rubric. The course timeline would run between 5 and 6 weeks. We took about 2 weeks for the Great Solar System Rescue. We're going to be working on the web quest for about 3. This was probably 2 periods of class time. We worked for about an hour and a half this morning to 2 hours. I chose this because it's very motivational to the students. The students are highly motivated to get in there and find out this information, record the data, and try to make decisions using the data. So I'm finding this web quest to be very, very motivating to students. A second reason, and probably almost more importantly, is the information regarding the solar system and what they're learning is changing so fast that it's very good to be able to use internet resources, and especially, like I said, NASA's site for kids is excellent for providing up-to-date resources. One of the components of the model that I used was learning, and this is obviously a compelling situation. The students are very motivated to try to figure out where to put this colony. There's active involvement. Students are actively making decisions and involved with the task. Another aspect of the model is the tenets of democracy. And that is very much a part of this activity. The students have to collaborate to decide what they think are important features that we need to survive, and then as a class we need to come together and decide, and everybody's opinion counts, but we all need to come together to a consensus to decide what we think are our list of 10 things necessary for survival. They'll see that over and over again in this project. They will be having to make decisions about where to colonize as a group. They'll have to come together and come to consensus in that too. In terms of technology, the students have needed to learn how to use the web quest. They've learned what even hotlink is. Some of the students didn't understand how the hotlinks worked within the web quest. Some of the students did not know to scroll down on a site. So we've had a lot of incidental learning happen along the way with the technology. The students have learned about navigational bars, knowing how to get to different places within the website. They have also seen how the technology with the laser disc works. They were fascinated with the size of the laser disc and that it looked like a big CD. So they've learned some things about technology in terms of that. They have also had a directly taught lesson on evaluating sites, taught by the media specialist. He talked about evaluating various sites. We had to talk today about skimming the site. There are times you need to skim a site. There are times you need to read very carefully. At times you need to skim a site just so you know what's in that site and then come back to it later.